Why hello there ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever White Valley. It's been a long time coming this, and I've not recorded this game in about 2-3 weeks, so I did so much mass recording just because I knew I was busy, I was away, I was doing various other stuff, and now university for me starts today, so again I'm going to record at least 2 episodes right now, and we're going to go from there. So one or two changes to note is that Airline Tycoon, I decided to play that again just because I felt like it in the spur of the moment. That was a mass recorded series and I just thought, you know what, let's do that. What I'm going to be doing right now is uploading every 3 days. So there'll be a Transport Fever video, then in another 3 days there'll be another Transport Fever video, then in another 3 days there'll be an Airline Tycoon video, then it goes back to another 2 Transport Fever, then Airline Tycoon. That's how I'm going to do things this term anyway, up until December. So that is just to let you know. One or two things I've changed off camera as well, which are vital to know, is that I've made modifications to this line here, so it's all doubled up all the way down to the coal now, just because we've got a lot going on it, to be fair. There is multiple trains which carry steel now. We've got 2 trains which are just carrying steel. And if we come all the way down here, then we've got, I think, 4 trains carrying coal now, so it's quite a big deal, and as you can see, they are all full leaving, so it's great to see we're reaching the capacity. My friend recently got into this game, and for some reason I never looked at this very much, this interface here, but it is so useful. It can tell you basically what the capacity is of the route, and as we can see, the bus from Hampstead to Bawtry, or Bawtry, is like half full, for example, but the frequency is, it could basically be increased, if you will, because it's got 720 seats, which is quite a lot, so that's interesting to note. But I can see this more clearly now. I can see where expansion is needed and where it is not, and we're going to start off with the railways today. So a few things that people have asked me to do, and one of them is to go ahead and implement the slowing down mod, which will be implemented as of the next episode. I have downloaded it, I just need to put it on. People want me to go ahead and use the class 4-7 trains as well, which I am happy to use. We do have those trains. If I jump into here and I go into locomotives, and then we should have the class, I mean, we've got lots of different ones, but the class 47, it is somewhere, or it is to be unlocked, or it's in my mod list, so it will arrive in this game shortly. And then on top of that as well, people have been asking me to pre-build train stations, and that's something which I very much want to do. So let's go ahead and start off by just reviewing the map, if you will. There's a lot of towns on the outskirts which I want to long-term connect up, such as Southgate, Spalding. Over here we have got Crowland, Dereham, which is definitely going to get its name changed, Somerton, and quite a few others. We've really not actually ventured over this side of the map too much, so that's what we are going to work towards in the next few episodes as well. But I also want to pre-build railway stations as well, because I think that's a great idea. We have some more railway stations unlocked now, which is great to see too. So let me go for extra long, let me go for 2 platforms, and we'll really just go from here. So I'm also thinking about going ahead and creating 1 or 2 videos just to basically get people started on the game, because I get the same questions quite frequently. So it'd be basically an introduction to the game itself, then a tutorial for buses, a tutorial for trains, trams, so on and so forth, because it can be kind of, I guess, difficult if you're coming into this game, and there's a lot to know. This game has changed a lot since it's been launched, and for example, when I try to get into games like City Skylines, I feel that it's easy to pick up, but it's difficult to master, and I feel this game is very much getting that way as well. By no means I am not an absolute perfect player at this game. I don't really play this game off record, to be honest, just because I don't have the time to. However, it's one of these games which, after you have got initial things going, then it can either go really well or really bad. Usually for me it goes really well, just because I play on easy most of the time, but in saying that, I think that going forwards, I want to start to challenge myself more, and it can become quite difficult, especially on hilly maps. We know how difficult Scotland was. I failed on that. Whereas on this map, I'm succeeding amazingly, so it's hit or miss. Scotland was difficult because of the terrain, and endgame strategies are really something which I think a lot of people would be interested in knowing. So I'm thinking about, if I get time, doing some strategy videos, and tell me what you think about that. So as you can see, I'm placing down a few railway stations. I don't know if these will be used, but the real reason is I'm having to go around towns and building railway stations in awkward places, so I just want to go ahead and, if I can, help myself out really. Again, I don't know if I'll use them, but I can easily delete them if I don't use them. It's as simple as that. I also realise that a lot of these are on edges of towns, which, I mean, that's just the way it's going to have to be because the towns have already started to grow. But this was a really good suggestion by one user, which I cannot remember your name, I do apologise. On another note as well, underground stations, I've just not implemented mods. That's something which I've really not done and something I should really do. Okay, so I'll implement more stations at a later time. I'm not really too fussed about that right now. Let's go ahead and turn our attention back to how we are doing in terms of line profits actually. So where are we making money and where are we losing money? Well, the fuel lines are doing really bad. One of them is losing 4.2 million, which is an insane amount of money and is something I'm not very happy about at all. In the other end though, we are making a lot of money on coal and steel, and that I'm really happy about that because that was something I really did focus on quite a bit. Interesting to note here, we've got a lot of people waiting on trains on the blue line, and this is where we're going to start today with the trains. So right now we've got the crimson line and we've got the blue line. If we go ahead and jump into here and look at the railway lines, you can see the blue line going off to my left. It goes via Hampstead, then up to Chorley and into Burnham. We've got the crimson line which loops right the way around the Burnham, Telscombe, through Maidstone and then into Coburn. Now I'm going to break these lines up because these lines are not very efficient. As we can see, they're making a not bad amount of money, but what I want to do is definitely break these down. So if we're going to go ahead and pre-plan for the future, I would like to go ahead and have a separate railway going from Hetton up here to Hampstead, and then we're going to have railway line going up this valley here. This is today's build, if you will. Now annoyingly, banger, I should have pre-built a station in here. It's just the buses cannot meet the demands and a train can meet the demand, so that's what we're going to be going for off the bat here. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a railway station. I really love this railway station, I'm not really at all sure why, I just do. We need to get this into a relatively central location, which I think we could do without too much bother, to be fair. So let's go ahead and get rid of these streets here, and this streets here. So I mean, is it going to be central? Not really, but again, I'll probably put a tram in this town, so let's stick you in there like so. That is going to cause some terraforming issues, but we'll deal with that later. And then I want this to continue on to Southgate, and then on to Spalding as well, just so we can get some more towns connected up. Where are we going to put a station here? I'm actually probably going to do a really bad thing again and delete all of this, which cost me quite a bit of money. And then we're going to build a station right in here, so it is pretty central if you ask me. And then we'll maybe just have you running up to here for now, because Spalding doesn't really have much going for it. So, you know, one step at a time, one step at a time. So with that done, we're going to have railway lines leaving out of Chorley and coming into here. Now you are going to require me to make a bridge, aren't you? That is annoying. Very annoying indeed. One, bridges are slower and they cost more and they don't look as pretty on the natural landscape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually terraform, which again, I've not really gone ahead and removed the mod which gives me free terraforming, which I've not edited mods. I get so excited to play the game that I just don't go in and edit, and that's my downfall, to be honest. It really is. I just want to play just because I don't get to play that often. So we've created sort of an artificial ramp here, which I don't know if this is really going to work or not, but I just want to make it look prettier on the landscape. So there we go, that looks a lot better there. And then keep this going. So we actually have an embankment now, which is great. Much better than a bridge. And then we're just going to have this steaming along here pretty much at the maximum 186. We'll have a nice small curve there. Interestingly, there's some stone there as well. And then this is going to steam towards Chorley, or Hampstead, sorry. Now Hampstead is going to be interesting because I'm going to need to create multiple more platforms on the basis that we are going to have multiple different routes coming into here. 3 to be specific, so we need 3 platforms. We can't really do that though, and that's a little bit of an issue, so let me go ahead and upgrade. Let's remove the second street connection, then let's go back in and upgrade to 3 platforms. Then if we can reapply the street connection, actually we can't, which is annoying. However, I know we can. We just need to delete this road section here, jump back into here, second street connection, yes, and there we go, like so. And then let's just redraw that road we just deleted from there to there, and then from there. To be fair, actually, I don't necessarily want houses in here because I don't want to make this area too chock-a-block. Right, so that's just got this extra platform here. This extra platform will be used to go down to our capital, which is Hetton. And then we'll have one of the 2 original platforms going off to the left and one going off to the right, as simple as. So we're just breaking down the railway line. That's really what I'm trying to do, and that will yield us more profits, which we've learned in the Grand Canyon series, as well as the Scotland series was interesting actually. It did work and it didn't work. It was just everything was too condensed. So the Grand Canyon series though, it was definitely obvious. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to push these old blue line trains out of Hetton because we don't really need them to run to Hetton anymore. We just need them to go via Hampstead. So it now goes from Hampstead to Burnham to Chorley, and then back via Chorley back in here to Hampstead. So that works out nicely. So it's occupying a platform now, but that means we've got no connection going down the way to Hetton. So let's go ahead and deal with that issue first. Now we've just got really nice trams and really nice buses there, so I'm purposely playing the game on ×1 speed today, and it's not going to go any higher than that today, so that is something to note. Right, let's go ahead and delete some of this here. Now that's something which I probably need to implement. Let me have a look. So you're all on the one line, which is a bit of an issue, isn't it? So we need to have use this line here like so. So that works out fine, and then you use this entrance line and you use platform number 2 in the middle there. What you're going to be doing, this new line, is you're going to be joining in here like so, and then we can have the other junction just after here like that, and that will work out nicely. Right, so I'm going to create a new line, and it's going to go from here, from Hampstead, all the way down to... This is Hetton Central it is, and then that will go back. So this is the T Hetton to... I cannot remember half the town names, you know that, and it also should be Hampstead first. It's just getting familiar to this map again, because as I said, I've really not played it in such a long time. So that's Hampstead to Hetton, like so, and there we go. Right, so that's good to go. Now, because a lot of people have requested Class 47s, I do want to implement them, but not on this line. On this line, we're going to be going for intercity trains, because that's really what this is. It's a short intercity journey, plus we've got a lot more multiple units now as well. What ones will I be going for? I mean, it's a really good question, that. What can I go for? I can go for many. I really think I'm just going to go for these, though. These are my favourite trains by far, and the trains that I used to go back to my home county from Edinburgh, which, to be fair, it is only about 30 minutes. They use trains similar to this anyway, so we're going to go ahead and buy quite a few of these. We're going to buy 1, 2, 3, because I know this route is going to be quite popular, and put them onto the Hampstead Hetton like that. The good thing is we don't have to do too much more works to this line, because the line is already in operation. So you're waiting for a free path, because this station is pretty chock-a-block right now. You must be waiting as well, and you're waiting for that train to clear out. So it is pretty busy here right now, to be fair. We just need to wait for this train to go back out. So you need to clear and then go, and then these two other trains should follow you. But you're there. Now that is a problem. We could have total gridlock here. This is the problem. Can you turn and go? This is the first train problem we've actually had on this map. So you are good to go. So we'll wait for you to go out. And then I'm going to have to... Just let me look at this. Yes, I need to manually turn you around actually. No, we are going to have a problem here. Can we just stop you? Let that train go by. And then we're going to build a siding like that, which will allow the train on the left here to go into the track on the right. Like so. So that's used to following each other on the correct line. Now this train here will pass through, it will stop and pass through, and then this will follow the train which is on the wrong line onto the right line like it's doing so, and that should be that line sorted once more. Really good capacity on that line now as well. It's got an increase because it's obviously not serving an extra station, and that should solve that issue no problem. So the new trains that I've rolled out they are now already at Hetton Central, which is great. You are surprisingly empty actually. But I do reckon this line is going to come extremely busy, especially when we connect up the towns of Bangor and Southgate to the rail network. Now I'm not going to have every single small section of track have its own train. For example, Hampstead to Hetton, that's one. I'm not going to have a single train from Hampstead to Bangor. It really just depends on demand and the case-by-case basis, so that's really what I'm basing it off. So we are going to, because we're connecting up to a new town here, even though Bangor is quite a large town in itself, I'm not really going to go ahead and give the route up to Bangor here its own line, just because there's not really, I don't feel there is the demand, and we can get away with having 2 or 3 trains operating on this line without much difficulty. So with this done, let's go ahead and remove this like so, and let's have you running into there, and then let's go ahead and grab this and connect you into there, and that just looks much nicer. It looks much nicer than the bridge would anyway. Then you come into here, both platforms will be used, and then we can go ahead and have the exit coming out of here, and we're finally going to get to connect up to a new town, which is something I've really been meaning to do, but it's just because of so much industry we've been working on, it's really taken up a lot of time, unfortunately. But the industry is working really well, minus the fuel. The fuel's the sector which is struggling, but the steel's working great, as is all of the rest of things. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to downgrade this to a 1 platform station, because we only need 1 platform here at this moment in time anyway. Long term we might need 2 when we continue the line on to the next village, which is Spalding, but for the time being we just need the 1. Right, let's go ahead and double this track up, and then I need to add in lights as well. So what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm just going to speed this part up very quickly. So that's me gone ahead and signalled up the line. However, I've noticed a issue. So we need to, unfortunately this game has it now, you have terminals, which you guys know about. This is really why this series came along. I need to move you to Terminal 3 and lock you in there. I need to have the blue line at Terminal 2 and lock you in there, and then Terminal 1 is going to be used for our new railway line. Now unfortunately this section here isn't doubled up, it's only going to be a single section, which could lead to some train inefficiencies, if you will. However, I'm hopeful that it'll be okay. How's the blue line doing? So the blue line, there shouldn't be any trains blocked up. And in general actually it's doing okay. I don't know how it's losing so much money though. It is on older trains, which I understand that could be a bit of an issue, but at the same time, there's capacity there. They probably are all clogged up, and it is quite a small line for 3 big trains like that, to be fair. Or 4 big trains like that, so you're arriving in there full, so I'm not 100% sure. I mean, we'll monitor the issue. I'm not going to sit on top of it though, but we will come back to it later on. This train station, as we can see, has got a lot of demand for the blue line, and down to Hetton as well, so we'll just have to see how it goes. Right, so let's get this going here now. So we're going from Hampstead all the way up here to Bangor. Bangor's going to be a bit of an issue, and then coming in here to the town of Southgate, which I need to memorise, and then you're going to go back via Bangor as well. So there we go, so that is the well, your train first of all, your Hampstead to Southgate, like so, and that is all good to go. So with that done, ladies and gentlemen, we can actually go ahead and put a train on it and get our first works going once more. So what way is this going? It's going in the correct direction, if you will, which is on the right side of the tracks. So let's go ahead and build a small siding in here. Rotate this around. I probably need to get some more engine sheds as well, to be fair. Now the question is, what am I going to go for? Well, it is the year 2000 and this is a slightly longer, so I'm not going to be rocking these trains. I want to try something a little bit different. Plus we have a bit of money to spend as well. So what I'm thinking is maybe a train like this. Based on the fact, and I'm using this train as a benchmark, it costs 15.5 million and it can carry 144 passengers. But the top speed is very limited, so I want to try something a little bit different. Maybe go for one of these, for example. So I have two of these operating the line. So this can go up to 100 miles per hour. It's got a larger capacity, but it does cost 20,000. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go for these bad boys. I'm going to go ahead and have two of them. And interestingly, they're two trains connected together, which I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of this or not, but we'll have a look. Commonly in Scotland anyway, on the Fife Circle, which is my home county, you get two trains that are often merged together just because and a lot of railways in Scotland, the Scottish Government I feel is not doing the best job of it. Trains are always overcrowded. There's never enough seats, so they often put trains together to go ahead and solve this issue. So this looks interesting. I don't mind it, to be fair, actually. It very much reminds me of... Whoa, now that's weird. 3 trains together? You don't see that in Scotland, because there's not enough trains in Scotland, but... It also reminds me, though, of, like, my own country, though, and its train network. So, these trains are extremely long. That's one thing that does worry me, because Hampstead, I think, is only a 240 metre station. If I'm correct, yeah. So, I mean, I built the other ones as 320s, but these are only 240s, so that's interesting. Very interesting. I hope it'll be okay. I'll speed this up, and we'll see how this works out. Is there anyone waiting on my Hampstead Southgate? Unfortunately, not yet. Hopefully there will be soon, though. We've also got some more wagons as well. That is something which will help me out when I move into the agriculture and food sector. Right, is this train coming in? Here it is. Is it gonna fit though? I'm starting to think no. I'm really a bit concerned. So here it comes. Actually, it should fit in. Just and no more. Yeah, it fits. Just and no more. I couldn't go any longer. Let's put it that way. So you've got no one going onto you, which is fine. Right, you're for some reason not moving, which is annoying. I noticed that. And that's probably clogging up the blue line as well, because I changed you guys recently. Why aren't you in the other platform? It's because you cannot change over, because this train is too far forward, because there's not a signal there. Right, I get you now. So let's go ahead and reverse you back. Then let's stop you there, and then reverse you again. Let's add in the correct signal, which is going to go in here. And then if we run you again, you should stop at that signal because there's not a free path. This train can go out, and then that resolves that issue. And now you should be using this new platform 3 as well, ideally. So I'm just going to wait for this train to come in and hope that this all works out okay. How's the buses doing? Interestingly, we might want to delete the Bangor bus because now we've got a train. So this train comes into platform number 3, just what I wanted. And that resolves that issue there. and we're all good. There's a lot of people waiting to use, I suppose this is called the, well, the blue line's not really, that needs to get updated because I'm not really going to be rocking that name anymore. Just because I don't really think it's not a bad idea. The crimson line has a ring to it, the blue line just doesn't, if you know what I mean, so we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, so the bus to banger, it's really redundant now to be honest, so what we're going to do is we're probably going to get a tram in banger, I think, for the time being. That's something we should probably check on. How are my trams doing? Interestingly, it's really hit and miss based on the town actually. Maidstone, for example, is doing exceptionally well. It's a very spread out town, Maidstone, from what I can remember, so it probably benefits quite well, and as you can see we have... It doesn't actually look that incredibly busy, but most of the trams are relatively busy themselves, which is quite good. And it's just the way Maidstone's laid out it works, whereas for example Colburn, which is... where is Colburn? Colburn here, this is... I mean, it's difficult to see first of all, very difficult to see in fact. Let's go ahead and change this colour to a blue. It's interesting, it's just because the way the railway station is located in the town, it's a bit hit and miss to be honest. So, that could be... I mean, trams are never going to make me bank anyway, let's put it that way. So, and let's see how Burnham's doing. Burnham was one of our first towns, but it's just really not taken off. But in saying that, it's not that a complex route to be fair anyway, so... yeah, that's an interesting one, that is an interesting one. I still do think that trams are the best way forward to support railway stations, though, and railway stations are again the way you make money. So what we're going to do is we're going to create something similar for banger. We're going to create not quite a loop anyway. Well, we keep the bus on probably for the time being until we actually get better support for the railway, because there's 12 people waiting here, but in all honesty that's not a lot compared to the population of the town, which is 640, so there's definitely a lot of room for improvements. Alright, so let's go ahead and first of all start to upgrade roads, because that's the biggest thing. So where are we going to want to go to? We don't actually have, we do have a central bus station here. However, I'm not really about that to be honest, I'm more about creating a point-to-point along this top section here. Have a turning circle here. And then just have you come down the middle, right down here. You can go into the station if you would like to, and then you can come back out. And we can maybe have you coming down here. Let's go ahead and actually build a tram road. Bus lanes, no, but tram tracks, electric, yes. Let's build a... can we build a road? Right round to there, this is me just predicting growth, and then have that come around, and let's create a small turning circle here if we can. So let's do that there. Upgrade, like so, into there, and into there like that, and there we go, nice and easy. So I still need to do one or two other upgrades. That road shouldn't be too busy to be fair. This is a main road though, so this will definitely need an upgrade. So we go back into here, and we upgrade. Let's put bus... how... no, it's the magic wand tool's the upgrade tool. I don't know why. Again, I've not played this game in such a while, so let's go ahead and upgrade that whole section there. Like that, and that works out nicely. A better approach coming into town, and that means we can get a better tram service on the go here. So let's go ahead and think about placement of stations. We'll have one here, quite central. I mean, you'll be going into there anyway, so that's kind of redundant actually. So you know what, we'll put a stop there. We'll put a stop obviously outside the station there, and we'll have a stop over here. Then coming down here, we'll have another stop round about here. Predicting for the future, we'll have a stop there. And then finally we'll have a stop up here as well. So it's not going to be that complex tram network, but it's going to be working anyway. So we're going to go from Park Avenue out to the Green, up to Church Road, into the branch, then up to Grove Road, then to Richmond Road, and then into Victoria Street. I'm just going to recolour this line because it's difficult to see. And then we're just pretty much going to go back the same route. Church Road, into there, into the green, and then Park Avenue, and that is that pretty much good to go. However, there's an issue here, which isn't too good, and I don't know why. Why are yous at the same side? Can we go ahead and set stop 9 to the other side of the road maybe? Yeah, there we go, so that wants to work now. Then if we add after 9, no, after 8, we want to add in... Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? Can we set you to 1? So that works out, yeah, there we go, so yeah, because that's a good thing now, you can actually set the terminals in here as well, 1 and 2, so that works out great, and... Oh, now something's wrong here. Right, I'm gonna have to work this out, because something has gone horribly wrong. Alright, there we go, so that is the terminal issue sorted, which is grand. So the final thing I need to do is actually just add trams onto this. So if we go ahead and jump in here and create a tram depot. Now, I have unlocked new trams, and I'm interested to explore them. So looking at this, we're currently using these B45 Mirage trams, which carry 23, which is quite a bit. These Cobras though are better, bigger and better, and that's what I'm going to go for here. So we're going to make these yellow. We're going to buy 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to go too big because so far most of my tram routes I haven't gone higher than 8, and that's on Maidstone. So we're just going to go ahead and keep things nice and simple. I'm guessing this yellow line here is line 1, which it is, which is good. So we're going to have to go ahead and rename that to the TR, and this is the town of... What town is it? I'm bad today, I am bad today. I do apologise if I've been a little bit slow today, it's just me getting back into the swing of things. So that's the TR in Bangor, and that is that good to go. So we can remove the bus. I don't think I will just yet, but how are the trains doing themselves? So you've got 20 people on you, so it's not the most. A lot of people want to go to Southgate. Probably the trains just need to spread out a little bit, but that'll come in time. In terms of the actual profits, we are... Again, I need to update all this naming principles, so you know that. This should have a G at the start. Like so, so that's good. And then you are the... I mean, you are the old blue line, but we're just going to rename you. So you're from... Burnham... This is just annoying now, isn't it? T Burnham to Hampstead. So that works out a little bit better. And then the Crimson Express. So there we go, let's just tidy that up a little bit more. So in terms of the modification that I made, obviously, to the blue line, or the Burnham Hampstead it now is, these 4 trains are doing relatively well. Most of them are... Well, I mean, they're a little bit lower than they were in terms of passenger numbers, and I think we'll have to modernise those trains relatively soon anyway, because they're quite old. They're about 30 years old now, so that's something we'll have to do. The new Hampstead Hetton isn't doing very well because of that issue. This is really annoying me. Why can you just not do something simply? It's really not that difficult. In terms of the Hampstead Southgate though, this is doing very, very bad, so we definitely need to go ahead and, I would say, remove the bus route. Right, what's the problem now? How have you got to this stage? Because there's a light there and there shouldn't be a light there. So you're moving up, though's not going to solve this issue, is it? Right. Ugh. No, for God's sake. Right, stop. You need to turn around. There shouldn't have been a signal where it was, and then we need to play the game. And you need to turn around so we can play the game. I need you to go back to before that previous signal. So you're now behind that signal. So this bottom train needs to move. What the actual... Oh, this is what I hate about changing train lines, you know that. I really hate it. And there's always trains get stuck as well, that's always a big thing. Right, so you're going to power down as of now. And then you're going to turn around. You, on the other hand, what's wrong with you? No, if you turn around, there actually is a free path, but you've just been an absolute numpty. Oh, right, you're just gonna actually, we're just gonna have you jump over to there right now. So off you go. So that just gets this train out the way. The other train is good to go. It can actually start to come back in this direction without any difficulties. But now you should stop prior to the signal. And then that means this other train can get in and out. You should be able to actually leave very, very shortly. As soon as that train gets past that signal, you should be able to now go. Yup, and you're on the move, which is grand. And all we need to do to resolve this final issue is to move that out there. Right, so that's that. So things are interesting to say the least. I'm not really too happy about things in all honesty. I don't know, I'm struggling a little bit. I really am struggling today. Not too happy at all. At all. Right, anyway, so that's that done. There's a lot of people waiting here, a lot of people for Hampstead Hetton, which is understandable. We've still got a lot of issues on the buses though, and that's one thing. There's a lot of people that seems want to go up to Bottery and Portishead, mainly Portishead by the looks of it. So I'm really tempted to build a railway line along here as well, maybe from Hampstead into Chorley, but again, would that be too long a railway line? It's a strong possibility. What about if we were to have a train going out from Chorley? Because I think that could work quite well, actually. So yeah, that would work great, wouldn't it? Right, ladies and gentlemen, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to work on this new line here. So here we have it, the brand new railway line, which I'm not gonna make the same mistake as I did last time, let's put it that way. So we're starting off here in Bottery. I'm just going to rename this Bottery, you know that, because that's all I pronounce it. Bottery just doesn't sound right, so Bottery, there we go. I might have to modify one or two line names, but at the same time we might go ahead and delete those now. I do still kind of want to keep the buses at the same time, but I also want the trains to be profitable, so if we're looking at how, for example, the Hampstead Southgate railway line's going, it's doing pretty awful because I've really not gone for frequency, plus there's low amount of travellers just based on the fact that I've not got the best transport links to the railway station in Southgate, and I've only just implemented trams into the town of Bangor, so, and they're really not getting used that much, it doesn't look like anyway, because a lot of people are still waiting to go to Hampstead via the bus, so I think I do need to get rid of the bus line, but I do also want to kind of keep the bus line as well. It's difficult. Southgate itself is doing not the best. I want to actually add a second street connection in there though, so that would help serve the town that little bit better. And we could always have maybe a bus going from here to Spalding as well. I mean, that's for the future, but basically, right now what we've got here from Bottery, we've got the railway line, which quite a central station in terms of things actually. It covers a nice section. I did delete a small section down here, but it wasn't that much. Got a very aggressive corner coming out, but that's okay. Then this is the big issue here. To go around this mountain to get into Chorley, it's quite a slow corner this, unfortunately. And then coming into here as well, we're using just the one platform here at Chorley, which is all good with me. And that's the reason I originally built it anyway. So with that done, we can actually go ahead and get the trains onto this. Now, when I was saying there, I don't want to make the same mistake as last time. I just don't want to have large trains necessarily. I want to go for more on the frequency front, because that's something which I can already tell it's not looking too good. So we're going to go for a bit smaller trains. Again, I do want to go for the same kind of train, just not that exact specific model. So maybe something like this, 92 passengers, but we have much more of these. For example, we have 3 or 4 of these, so I think that's what we're going to do. So this is a 2-3 car set. How much? A 3 car set can only carry 56 people, which isn't much better than a bus. So I think we're going to go for 2 3-car sets. We're going to buy 1, 2, 3 of you guys. That's only cost me 36 million. And then we're going to set this onto the line once I create the line. So let's go ahead and back out of all of this for now. Move that over there, and then let's create this new line, which again, it keeps choosing this colour, and until I use that colour, unfortunately, it's going to keep selecting that. And now I've just lost that. There we go, line 1. Alright, so let's build you from Chorley up to Portishead. and then from Portishead all the way along to Bawtry, and then from Bawtry back along to Portishead, and there we go. So this is the T. I guess it's Bawtry actually to Chor, like so. And there we go. So we have that, and then we can go ahead and set this onto this line, and there we go. So I'm going to wrap this episode up here, ladies and gentlemen, being a slightly longer one. In the next episode I will have mods, and we will continue to really just focus on passengers for the next episode. Then we'll turn our attention back to goods. I just want to increase the overall capacity of a lot of routes, and that's why I'm moving to trains, and I think trains are going to be very, very useful in the future. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for this video, so thank you very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.